You know that feeling when you use an app and it just clicks? Everything is where you expect it to be, it's easy to use, maybe it even looks really good. Well, that's not an accident. That's good user interface design at work. So let's get into it. We're going to break down what UI design is all about and, honestly, why it's so important for pretty much everything we do online.
To really understand why UI is such a big deal, you kind of have to look back at where we started. I mean, look at this thing. Early computers were, well, they were a mess. A total jumble of control panels, switches, and blinking lights. You basically had to be a rocket scientist to use one, because you were dealing with straight-up machine language. It was not for the average person, that's for sure. And, something had to change. And that better way is what we now call the user interface, or UI for short. Basically, it's just the space where we, the people, can actually interact with a piece of technology. The screen you're watching this on right now, that's a UI. It's the translator, the middleman, the bridge that takes all that complicated tech stuff and makes it usable for all of us, not just the engineers. But here's the thing, it's not just about making something work. It's so much deeper than that. I love this quote from Hugo Raymond at Figma. He says that UI design builds an emotional connection with the user. And that's it right there. It's about how a product makes you feel. Think about it. Why do you prefer one music app over another? They all play music. It's often the UI, the experience, the vibe that makes you stick with one.
All right, so let's tackle the big one, UI versus UX. You hear these terms thrown around together all the time, and it's super easy to get them mixed up. They're partners in crime, for sure, but they are definitely not the same job. So let's clear this up once and for all.
Okay, the best analogy I've ever heard is building a house. The UX, or user experience designer, is the architect. They're the ones drawing up the blueprints, figuring out the structure, the flow, how you get from the bedroom to the kitchen in a way that makes sense. They're all about the big picture, the logic of the whole thing. Now the UI designer, they're the interior decorator. They come in and decide on the color of the walls, the style of the furniture, the faucets, the doorknobs, all the visual and tactile things that you actually interact with. One is the structure, the other is the style. And Hugo Raymond nails it again here. UI cannot exist without UX. It's so true. The UI is what makes that UX blueprint real, tangible. You can have the best architectural plan in the world, but without the walls and windows and doors, it's just a piece of paper. And on the flip side, you can have a beautiful-looking house that's impossible to live in. They absolutely have to work together. Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. What are the actual pieces and parts that make up an interface? Let's look at the building blocks.
So we're surrounded by these things every single day. The one we all know is the graphical user interface, the GUI. That's your phone screen, your laptop, anything with icons and windows you can click on. But then you've got gesture-based interfaces. Think about swiping in a VR headset or on a trackpad. And of course, there are voice-controlled interfaces, or VUIs. We're talking about Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, where the entire interface is just your voice.
And what's really wild is that pretty much any interface, no matter what kind, is built from the same 4 basic Lego bricks. First, you've got input controls. These are how you tell the device what to do. Buttons, text fields, sliders, you name it. Then, there are informational components. This is how the device talks back to you. Think progress bars, notifications, or little success messages. Third, navigational components. These help you get around. Search bars, menus, breadcrumbs. And finally, you have containers, which are just boxes that hold everything else and keep the layout from being a total mess.
All right, we've got the building blocks. So how do the pros put them together to build something that's actually good? Let's dive into 4 key best practices for making a great UI.
Okay, it really comes down to these 4 things. Number 1, and this is the big one, put the user first. Always. Every single choice you make has to be about them. Number 2, do your homework. You can't design in a vacuum. You've got to know who your competitors are and what users already expect. Third, apply proven design principles. Seriously, don't try to reinvent the stop sign. There are patterns and standards that people already understand. Use them. And last but not least, use the right tools. Good software makes everything easier, from collaboration to just getting your ideas out.
And really, that's how you know you've nailed it. Your UI is a home run when someone can use your product for the first time and they don't even need instructions. They just get it. It feels instinctive, like it works exactly the way their brain expected it to. When we talk about those proven principles, there's one that can't be skipped: accessibility. And Hugo's point here is so important. A great design has to work for everyone, no matter their abilities. We're talking about things like making sure colors have enough contrast for people to see, or that someone using a screen reader can navigate logically. Having an expert on your team to champion this stuff, well, it's not a nice to have, it's a must have. It can't be an afterthought.
So when you put all this together, user-first thinking, accessibility, intuitiveness, it all leads to this really cool idea, a sort of guiding philosophy. The best design is invisible.
What does that even mean, invisible design? It means the interface gets out of the way. It's so good, so seamless that you forget it's even there. It doesn't make you think about it. It helps you think about what you're trying to do. It puts you in the driver's seat, making you feel totally in control and empowered. The UI just disappears, and all that's left is you and your goal. So here's a little homework for you. The next time you're using your favorite app, just pause for a second. Try to spot the invisible choices. Look at where that button is placed. Notice how clear that little icon is. Think about how smoothly you went from one screen to the next. All those little things are design decisions that someone made to make your life easier. And I promise, once you start noticing them, you will never, ever look at your phone the same way again.